Hi. Hi. Yeah, we're live. That's right. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitter Spaces. And I'm thinking, it was interesting. There's been so many with this show over the years, done 1,172 episodes as of today, which is crazy. I was on somebody's podcast yesterday. They were like, "Yeah, I think it was Allison. Yeah, she was like, that's crazy." She's like, I've consistently every week done a podcast, and she's like, I'm on episode 49, which was amazing. That's quite an accomplishment. Most people don't get past episode 8 of their podcast, I think is what they say. But golly, 1,172 episodes, man. It's crazy. But through all of that, obviously there's been different, kind of renditions of how things have flowed and how things have gone. There's seasons where we did lots of interviews, seasons where we had little segments from different people that were placed in here. And then we had seasons with like Heather Parody, right? We ran with Heather Parody for a little while. That was super fun. Seasons in the utility closet, seasons at the old office, seasons in the new office, seasons where we had like a fully produced show at 7 a.m. and nothing at 5:30 a.m. And then, man, it's gone through all of these, all of these evolutions. It's gone through so many evolutions, and I just want you to know, I guess, this morning that I appreciate you going on these journeys with me, right? Wouldn't be so fun if it was just me, and it definitely wouldn't be fun if we were just doing the same format thing all the time. Like I can't roll like that. Right? I can't roll like that. Like it's got to be growing. It's got to be adapting. It's got to be evolving. And I appreciate you holding me accountable to being in this space and holding me accountable to showing up every single day for the last 5.5 years or however long it is. Because in doing so, you have made me better. You holding me accountable has made me better. And I just greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. So I wanted to start today's show off by just saying thank you. I appreciate you. You're awesome. And with that said, let's dive in. Today's episode, Rise and Grind. We got, we're going to hear from Eric Thomas today. We're going to hear from a couple different people today, and we are going to talk about this accountability thing, and how deadlines play a part in holding yourself accountable, holding others accountable, and how important that is. Let's go. Let's dive in. Good morning, and welcome to #Rise and Grind, the #1 morning show in the world filled with motivation, education, and inspiration. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 8, and the founder of the 800% Club, the club designed to help you unlock your full potential. Each episode is filled with celebrity interviews, inspiring conversations, and the strategies you need to get ahead in your career and your life. So grab your pen and turn up the volume, because it's time to rise and grind.
I want to challenge you today. You're just as special as everybody else. You're just as powerful as everybody else. You're just as unique as everybody else. You're just as gifted as everybody else. And you belong in first class just like everybody else. So here's the hard work. I need you to confront you. I need you to confront you, because you're the one holding you up. I need you to confront you. I need you to look in the mirror and tell you, you are not going to do me like this no more. You're not going to continue to sabotage me. You're not. You're not going to keep procrastinating. I need you. You're not going to keep thinking like that. I need, listen to me. This is the one thing I get so frustrated with humans. I get frustrated with humans when somebody's late and they upset. I get frustrated with humans when somebody borrows money for you and you don't pay it back, they don't pay it back, and you upset. I get upset with humans when you go out to eat and they don't bring your food out the way you want your food out, and you are so upset and you let them have it, but then you disappoint you when you don't let you have it. You give you a pass. You give you a pass. You are not where you're supposed to be financially, and you can give yourself a pass. You know you better than that. You know you should be further in life, but you keep letting you slide. Right? So I'm not telling you how to punish yourself, but no, I mean that. Write that down. First, I need you to hold you accountable. From now on, you're not going to hold any other human more accountable than you hold yourself. Hold you accountable, and don't let you off the hook. And me told me, E, you know you can't read, right? You know you struggled since you was a kid with reading. You know your comprehension sucks. You can't possibly go to college. Come on, Eric, your mom got pregnant when you were 17 years old. Your biological father was strung out on drugs. Come on, Eric, college? Your grandma had 14 kids. Only 2 or 3 of them finished high school. Nobody went to college. College, son, come on. Be for real. You think I got a GED? You think I went from a GED to a PhD because I kept listening to Eric? I kept stretching him every time. And I looked that boy in the mirror and I'd say to him, look, we just got a GED. We got a GED. Why quit now? We just got the GED. Why? Let's not quit. Let's go to college and at least see what we can do. We went to college. I failed English the first try. Me said, I told you we couldn't do this. I told you, you wasted our time. We could be back on the block with everybody else selling dope, making money. You fooling yourself. You're not college material. Your mama wasn't college material, and your daddy wasn't. Matter of fact, your grandma got a 3rd grade education. She ain't college material. Why are you here playing? Because I would no longer accept the life that was given to me and carved out for me. I would write my own story. And I failed again. And I went back in the mirror with myself. I told you we shouldn't be doing it. You are embarrassing us now. I said, no, I'm not. We failed the first time with an F. We failed the second time with a D+. We got it on the 3rd try. We passed. It took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree. And when I finally got it, my mentor said, man, you got it. I said, man, finally. Whew, I'm never going back to school again. He said, never going back. You just learned how to read. You just learned how to write, and now you're about to stop? You should have stopped before you tried. You know how to write now. You know how to read now. You know how to comprehend now. Now you need to take that and do something with it. Why come and get a 4-year degree to go bury it? If I was you, I'd go get a master's degree. Matter of fact, you know Michigan State called you and told you they wanted to pay for it. You know what? Go. They paying for it. Even if you fail, it's okay. It's on their dime. You can always come back to Alabama if it don't work out. As a matter of fact, do me a favor. When you go, it took you 12 years to go get a 4-year degree. Do me a favor. Don't even go get a master's. I want you to see if you can start something and finish it on time. I set a new goal for myself. Guys, it wasn't about finishing school. He said, can you do something on time? I want you to challenge you the last quarter of this year to do something you've never done before, to have something you've never had before, to try something you've never tried. In 18 months, I got the master's degree. And many of you are not where you're supposed to be because you're still trying to be what everybody else wants you to be, and you're listening to what they're saying about you when it's time for you to look at your goals and your purpose and your destiny and your legacy. And it's time for you to start putting all this information you got into that.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Wednesday, aka CMA Day. That's right, Carter Myers Automotive Group. I'm super excited. Every Wednesday, I get the opportunity to spend time with the Carter Myers Automotive Group, and they are amazing, truly amazing superhumans. A group of dealerships, 23 dealerships, over 1,100 associates. They're just incredible people, and I've had the honor and the privilege of working with them for the last 3 years, nearly every single Wednesday. And so Wednesday in my world is CMA Day, Carter Myers Automotive Group, which, by the way, if you are looking for a career, you want to be with an incredible organization, you want part ownership, all of their employees are owners. If you were looking to make a change or anything like that, just reach out to me. I can let you know, or let me know. I can hook you up with CMA. They're over in Virginia. They're awesome, awesome, awesome. Today is also March 29th. 2023. What's crazy is today's the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. And so I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. And it is March 29th, not February 29th. Apparently, yesterday I said it was February 28th on my show. Don't know how a whole month happened like that, but it did. And the video that you just heard was the one and only Dr. Eric Thomas. Friend, mentor, self-proclaimed #1 speaker in the world. The dude's a beast. And what he just talked about in that video, my hope is that it resonated with you the same way that it resonates with me. When he talks about the server, you get mad when your food comes late. And yet, you won't even hold yourself to that level of accountability. When I heard that, I thought, golly, man. I had dinner the other night, me, my family, my cousin, his family. We went to the, what's it called? The Reef Restaurant or something like that. It's in Nashville, Tennessee. The whole place is an aquarium. The restaurant is in an aquarium. So there's big old sharks and fish and stuff swimming all around you. It's amazing. The place is incredible. And it was so fun. At first. And then as the time went on, and we had been there like an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, we still hadn't gotten any food. Just imagine being at a table that long with that many kids, right? There's 12 kids at the table, waiting that long for some food. Man, we started to get really, really, really frustrated. And ultimately, all's well that ends well. We weren't rude or anything like that. Still tipped the guy, a very handsome tip. But I remember the feeling, that angst, that frustration, that this server, this restaurant hadn't hit the deadline. The deadline that we had in our mind of what's acceptable, what is an acceptable wait time to be able to get our meal. Now, keep in mind, this place is an aquarium. There's sharks, there's stingrays. I've paid to go to an aquarium before. I've paid to go to an aquarium. I've paid to walk around in an aquarium for multiple hours with no food and no drinks. Yet this was a restaurant that was in an aquarium. Therefore, I had shifted the deadline and began to mentally hold them accountable to it. And yet, we don't hold ourselves to that same level of accountability. I find it fascinating. Accountability makes you responsible. That's what accountability does. Accountability makes you responsible. Accountability promotes ownership. You own it. Accountability is known to lessen conflict. When we take accountability, when we consider ourselves responsible, when we take ownership of something, it lessens conflict. Accountability also improves performance. It is proven over and over and over again to improve performance. It helps measure progress, which we all need to feel like we're moving, like we're growing, like we're evolving. Accountability inspires confidence in ourselves and in others. Accountability helps validate our thoughts and ideas. Accountability promotes outside the box thinking. Accountability eliminates failure. Huge word. Eliminates. You're like, what do you mean eliminates? Look, dude, with the right amount of accountability, with the right accountability to the right amount of actions on any task. What's up, Anthony Alagona? What's up, Liza? On any task, failure gets removed from the equation. That's a fact, Jack. Accountability minimizes the victim mentality. Accountability helps build strong relationships. All of those are proven. Accountability does all of those things. And yet we steer clear of it at all costs. We steer clear of holding others accountable. And we let ourselves off the hook too much. What are we thinking? What are we doing? We know the benefits. What are we thinking? What are we doing? And how do we change that? That's what we're going to talk about today. Before we go too far, though, you know what we got to do. My boy Connor, right here. You ready? Can you feel it? Let's go. That's it. This is the part of the show. We're going to do some dancing this morning. Let's do some dancing this morning. Get these bodies in motion. Come on now. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. For those of you that know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. Come on. If you're on YouTube, share it out. Facebook, share it out. Twitter, tweet this sucker out. Right now is the time. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. Is that fair? What's up, Melvin Rodriguez, Vicky Everett? What's up, Dora Maria? Sean Weatherby's in the house. Debbie Dowling Waba, great to see you. Pastor Jeff, Kevin Fadley, I'm glad you're in the building. Emily Galler, what's up, Emily? Young Johnson's up in here. What's up, Angeline Moore? Tarika Simmons, Vicky Everett is in the building. My guy, Anthony Alagona, is up in here. How you doing, Sonia Merritt? We got Douglas Damsky in the building. Michael Barrich, what's up, man? Gail Beecraft, glad you're here. Kim Fair, did I say hi to you? I want to make sure to do that. Michelle Gravely, I'm glad you're here as well. Don Sankey, make somebody smile today. Great to see you. Chris Boyette. Oh, man. I know it's going to be a great day today. Chris Boyette's up in here. Stephanie Toadvine, I'm glad you're here. Tina Kelly Elverfeld's up in here as well. And Tara Hope, let's go. Al Salas, come on, man. Jacqueline Underwood's in the building. My guy, David Hill, training for an ultra marathon or something. A triathlon, something like that. He's up in here. The Queen, Renee Noor. Sarah Holland, all the way across, all the way in Ireland. She's in Ireland. I put like a pirate thing on the beginning of that. Ireland. I don't know why I did that, but I do. Jennifer's here. Scott Simon's in the building. Janie Lacey's in the building. Kate Bowman, glad you're here. What's up, Emerald? How you doing? Sheila and Mindy and Stars, Tina and Lyndon and Kimberly and Leslie. Look at all these folks over on Twitter Spaces. That's what I'm talking about. Tina Bacon's up in here too. Golly, man, that's a throwback. That's from the way back right there. That's awesome, man. Well, good. Hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Love hanging out with you virtually. Would also love to spend time with you in the real world, the physical realm. So if you can, please come join me in Dallas, Texas, Thursday and Friday, April 13th and 14th. We will be in Dallas, Texas for the Champions Business Conference. You can go grab tickets if you haven't already. You can go to bwcdaily.com/Dallas 2023. Dallas 2023. Go grab your ticket. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be speaking at that event. Ramon's going to be at that event. My guy Trevor's going to be at that event. Amberley Lago's going to be at that event. Largo. It's one or the other. I apologize if I said it wrong. She's going to be there and a bunch of other folks. All the whole Breakfast with Champions community is all going to Dallas. We're going to light Dallas up. All right. So I hope you can make it. Tara Hope. I hope you can make it. Tony Thorstad. That's where we're going to be. Also, did want to remind you, we are always finding ways to bring our community together. A new way that we have to do that is we actually have a website. All the dealers that I work with across North America, we have collaborated to put all of our inventory together, and you can now shop from members of this community directly. You have a friend in the car business. All right. So just go to shop.800eliteauto.com. That's shop.800eliteauto.com. If you, a family member, a friend, whatever, needs a car, click on there and you'll be able to walk right in and say, hey, I'm a part of the 800% club. Hook me up. Give me a deal. They're going to take care of you. Cool. Shop.800eliteauto.com. I hope you love it.
Everyone makes mistakes. All of us have made many mistakes throughout our lives. Many small mistakes and some big mistakes. We've all let others down, and even worse, we've all let ourselves down at some point. Doing something you know you shouldn't have. Acting in a way below your standards. Failing. Making mistakes. Not giving your all. What happens after moments like this can mean the difference between you living a life you can't stand and you living a life you love. Because what happens after these moments usually goes like this. The majority give up, cave in, and suffer because of it. The minority hold themselves accountable. They acknowledge their mistakes, but they don't let them become a virus that spreads throughout the rest of their life. They know that their story will have some ups and some downs. And they aren't about to throw in the whole book because of one bad page. They do not let one page turn into a chapter. They never let one page turn into the story of their life. But that is what most people do. They let one argument ruin their day. They let one bad day ruin their week. They let one mistake define their life. Move on! One mistake is not your entire life. One page does not define your book.
Screw what has happened before. You don't have to suffer for the rest of your life. Throw away who you thought you were. Who you are is so much bigger. What you are capable of is so much more. But you'll never get to that so much more unless you take responsibility for your results. All results. Not just the results you want to claim. Not just the results you want to see.
Many have said before that you are the author of your own life story. There's the you of the past. And now there's the you of your future. You who gets to decide what will be written in the next chapter of your book.
Having a cry isn't holding yourself accountable. Doing something about it is holding yourself accountable. Saying you're going to do something doesn't count. Only doing something about it counts. It's not good enough to acknowledge your mistakes. You must do something about it.
Holding yourself accountable doesn't mean others will never do you wrong. It doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means whatever happens, you are going to make it work. Whatever happens, you are going to win. Whatever happens, nothing will stop you.
Be one of the few who are strong enough to tell the world, I was not good enough, but soon I will be. I am not perfect, but I'm working to become my best self. I'm working every single day. I'll make mistakes. I'll take responsibility. I'll learn. I'll move on. I'll grow. And I will do better next time. I will set the example for anyone watching, the example that no one is perfect. But no way will that stop me from being the best I can be.
So how are you going to do it? How are you going to hold yourself accountable? All right, I'm going to give you a couple quick little tools that you can use. If you're a note taker, write this down. First note that I want you to write down is that you are going to hold yourself accountable daily. It's a big word. Write that word down. Daily, D-A-I-L-Y. At some point, somewhere along the way, we were taught to do things consistently. Consistently is not daily, just so you know. Is a big difference between consistently and daily, right? How often do you work out? I work out consistently. What does that mean? Well, it could mean that you consistently work out 3 times a year. That's what consistently means. How often do you work out? I work out daily. I want you right now to picture in your mind the difference between someone who works out consistently and someone who works out daily. Would you say that there's a difference? There's a big difference, right? Big difference between someone who works out consistently and someone who works out daily. All right, so I need you to write down that word daily. Okay, so for starters, we are going to hold ourselves accountable daily. What does that look like? Well, it means that you need a target daily. You need something to hold yourself accountable to. You cannot hold yourself accountable if there's not some sort of a metric. Very first thing that I do with the dealers that work in the 800% Club, very first thing that we do is we shrink their goals from monthly goals, yearly goals, quarterly targets. We shrink them to daily. It's the very first thing that we do, and it's incredibly powerful. As soon as we start holding ourselves accountable to a result every single day, this is why earlier I said accountability eradicates failure. You cannot fail. You cannot fail if you do the appropriate amount of action daily to whatever that goal is. You're like, my goal is to make $1 million a day. Huge, crazy goal, right? Sounds nonsense. $1 million a day. Who makes $1 million a day? That's $365 million a year. There's probably the 1% of the 1% of the 1% probably make $1 million a day. Dude, if that is the target, if your target was $1 million a day and you broke down what it takes, the amount of calls that you would have to make, the amount of hours that you'd have to put in, the team that you would have to have, the resources that you would have to have, the investments that you would have to make, the marketing that you would have to do, the products that you would have to sell. Like if you did the math to what it takes to make $1 million a day, and you daily held yourself accountable and hit those targets. You made the 2,000 phone calls. You sent the 1,500 videos. You sent the 2,500 text messages. You did all the things. You would not fail. You would not fail. That's what accountability does. It eliminates failure from the table. Second word I want you to write down is weekly. You must break out of this consistent cycle of not growing, evolving, and stepping into opportunity. It's a big word. See, here's what accountability does. Accountability to a target, to some sort of deadline, actually creates opportunity. This is the key to success, okay? You've always wanted the key to success. I'm going to give it to you today. Accountability to a deadline, right? So I am writing my book. If you wanted to write a book, you would say, I am finished with my book on March 29th, 2023, right? So that's the target. That's the deadline. Now you're going to hold yourself accountable daily to writing in the book based on whatever you measured out, right? I used today's date. Maybe you used a date 90 days from now. Maybe it was 180 days from now. Maybe it's 270 days from now. I don't know. And then we do the math backwards. You say, okay, in order for my book to be complete on X date, I must daily achieve this. 5 minutes of writing, 10 minutes of writing, 2 paragraphs of writing, a paragraph, a page, whatever that is. Then we hold ourselves accountable to the daily, which which keeps us in line with the deadline. Now, once we finish the book on the deadline, right? Once we finish the book on the deadline, then that creates an opportunity for us to go out and sell the book, for us to go be on a show and talk about a book. It creates an opportunity for us to make an impact in someone's life with the book. So the accountability, daily accountability, moving towards a deadline creates opportunity, right? Once you understand that, I need you to, or I should say, I don't need you to, you need to audit yourself weekly. See, weekly audits allow us to catch ourselves before we get too far off track. Allow us to catch ourselves before we lose any momentum, because the last thing you want to do is lose momentum, right? I personally use my Morning 5 planner for this. And so I'm going to give you this tool today, this accountability tool. So daily, you're looking at all the things daily, right? Then you're going to audit yourself weekly. I'll show you. This is just because we're friends. Like I'm Mr. Transparent here. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Okay. So this was Saturday, March 25th, 2023. See that on the screen for those of you that are watching. And then down here at the bottom, right on the bottom, it says, how was your week? Right here. And you can see overall, I ended up at a 7. Now, how did I end up at a 7 for my week? Right? Danelle Delgado says you can't grade yourself a 7. Well, I didn't grade myself a 7. I landed as a 7. And here's what I did. There's 7 pillars that I look at every week. And I audit and I give myself a score from 1 to 10. So I look at faith, family, fitness, finances, friends, career, and self. Faith, family, fitness, finances, friends, career, self. Those are the 7 areas that I look at. Last week on faith, I audited and I wrote, I believe that there's more there. Like my relationship with God, I read my Bible, I go to my church, I serve, but I still feel like there's a deeper level of communication. So I gave myself an 8, right? When it comes to my family, I put, we are great. My wife and I are great. The kids need a little more structure. It's gotten a little out of hand. We're a little bit overwhelmed with the 7 babies. So the kids need a little bit more. My wife probably needs some help with that. So I gave myself a 6 when it comes to the family category, because my wife and I are great. I believe I could help her some, and she doesn't need to be so overwhelmed. I mean, it's a lot of kids, right? Fitness, spot on, killing my training, haven't missed a mile of marathon training, working out in between, 10. Glenn Lundy got a 10 on fitness. All right. 10 on fitness. Finances. Additional $35,000 a month in revenue for the company. Also, though, additional expenses of $35,000 a month for the company. So I gave myself a 2 in the finances category because, yes, we had a good week as far as adding additional recurring revenue, but we also, we basically washed for the week because our expenses went up as well. And so I don't like that. Me personally, I don't like that. I'm grateful for the revenue increase, but the revenue increase has to outperform the revenue outgo, right? Like the inflow's got to be bigger than the outflow. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. So I gave myself a 2 in that area. I'm just being honest with you guys. Friends, I put last week. I put what friends, and last week I gave myself a 1 in the friends category. Now that's none of your fault. That's my fault. Like, just not getting back to people, not responding to messages. Sometimes I just reach a point where I'm like, working family, right? And when I get into that zone, I deprioritize the importance of friends, and I did that last week. So I audit that, right? I'm like, that's not good, Glenn. We got to work on that. Friends are important, man. Friends are so important. And so I gave myself a 1 on that last week. Career. Next career, I put, we are definitely building an empire. I do believe 800% Club will be a global organization one day. Right now, our target is 10,000 hats. We're creating products that we can open the door for more people in the automotive space. And we do have a vision down the road of really being able to serve people around the world in a unique and powerful way. So gave myself a 10 as far as my career. I love what I do. I love it. And even though financially the week was flat, and even though some other areas of my life might have been a little higher or a little lower, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love it, man. I love my career. So career got a 10. And then when it comes to self, right? How am I feeling mentally about myself? Self, I put, I'm learning a lot. Like, for real, I'm learning a lot. And so I gave myself a 10. I gave myself a 10 because for me, mentally, if I'm learning, then I know I'm in the right spot. And sometimes those lessons are hard lessons. Sometimes they're lessons that suck. Sometimes they're lessons that make you want to curl up in a ball in your closet, right? But to me, learning is the best place that we can be when it comes to our mental health. And I'm learning and growing. I'm I'm learning and growing. That's all I can say. I'm learning and growing. So it's a 10. So then I add those things up, right? 8, 6, 10, 2, 1, 10, 10. I add those up. And once I add those all up, I divide them by 7. And that's where I got my score for the week. Okay? So the 2 notes that you should have had, the minimum, is daily and weekly accountability. Daily accountability and weekly accountability. You combine these things together, right? The weekly is to audit and make sure you haven't gotten too far off track. So I know I can steer back, right? Like, okay, the friend thing, all right, I need to focus on that this week. And I've sent out additional messages. I've called some of my friends just out of nowhere just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I care about you. I've been focusing on that every day this week, just making sure to reach out to my friends and say, yo, I love you. And next week is a Sabbath week for us, which is great because it's an opportunity for me to put work down for a few days, which is good. It's good. It's good for me to do that. Maybe it's not good for you, but it's good for me to do that. But knowing once you do that audit, you know the area that you need work in, then you can go to work daily reaching those targets, right? My target is to reach out 5 people every single day, so on and so forth. And accountability plus deadlines, that's the key. That's the key. I'm not going to ramble too much more on that. I think this makes sense, and I hope that helps you. I hope me pulling back the curtain, showing you my most intimate and deepest thoughts helps move you closer towards you being the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Because I believe that's the target, right? Like, you, me, best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. Children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything, right? Not average versions, not a little bit below average, not a little bit above, but the absolute best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. That's the target. That's the goal. And there is a deadline on that, right? So let's go get it. Listen, I love you. If nobody's told you that yet today, let me be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. I really do. You make me a better person. Thank you so much for spending your mornings with me. Can't tell you how much it means to me. And go out there having a phenomenal day. I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Cool? Cool. All right. Take care.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. Hashtag rise and grind, hashtag rise and grind. First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation, hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind, grind, 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 grind. Hashtag rise and grind. First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation. Hashtag rise and grind. Hashtag rise and grind. Don't stop, get it, get it. Hashtag rise and grind. Stop, get it, get it. Waking up the nation. Hashtag rise and grind. Waking up the nation. Hashtag rise and grind. Good morning. On my feet before the sunrise. Stepped into my greatness, feeling powerful and energized. Thankful to be alive. Hashtag blessed. Write my mission, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum. I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it. Ain't no doubt that I'm committed. Cause who really loses if I don't win? Can't cheat the grind, only get what you put in. So I'm mastering my mentals. I'm focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles. I'm gonna get it started, have a party in the morning, and I'ma wake the